In this video, we're going to talk all about what happened in the month of December in Edmonton's real estate market. But because we're talking about December, we're going to do a recap of the entire year of 2024 in Edmonton's real estate market. All right, so you might be wondering, how did Edmonton's real estate market fare for 2024? There's been so much talk, there was so much speculation that we would see a 12% increase in price, and I personally thought that was insane a year ago at this time. Now that it has been a whole year and we've experienced the year, it wasn't as insane as I thought it was going to be, and in actual fact, it was really close. So let's dive into the market stats to see what the average price ended up being for 2024. So the average price in Edmonton for single family homes detached was over $500,000. It landed at $533,000 for residential. Now, if you're looking at all residential, including townhouses and duplexes, you're looking at an average of $418,000. The townhouses were $288,000, and the semi-detached was $403,000. Now you'll notice that month over month it was a 2.2% increase for the detached single family homes at $533,000, but it was actually a 10.1% increase from the last year. And if you take a look at the semi-detached, they slightly went down in month over month, but they were 9.7% increase year over year. And for row townhouses, it was 10.6%. Now, we don't normally talk about condos, but I do want to say that the condo average price actually went up by 20% in 1 year, which is so crazy because condos forever haven't been selling and don't have good value. Now, does it mean I think you should buy one for the long term? There's a reason I don't talk about condos on this channel, and we focus on single families. So let's go dive right back into market stats of how many new listings came on the market in the month of December. In the month of December, we had 995 new listings come onto the market. Now that is lower than the month of the prior month by a little bit, but we actually took a big dive if you compare it from year over year. If you take a look at the overall new listings that we had this year for 2024, we had 26,000 listings. Now that might seem like a lot, but it really was a really low number, and that is why you're seeing such low numbers in terms of what's available and why we're in a seller's market. A seller's market is when you have not enough homes for all the demand, all the buyers that want to buy. So if you want to take a look, let's take a look at what the demand was in the month of December. So if you take a look at the month of December, we had 1,059 sales, and that is lower than the month before. However, if you take a look at year over year, that was still 20% more sales than the previous year, with 20,000 sales for year to date for 2024. And if you look at the year before, we had less sales and we had more houses. So if you think about 2023, we actually were still in a seller's market there, and that's why we felt the pinch in 2024. And I predict that in 2025, it will probably be even tighter unless we start to see more houses come on the market and maybe less buyers. Then maybe we might see an ease up and might go back towards a balanced market, but I don't foresee that for 2025. I foresee that it's going to stay pretty close to a strong seller's market all the way up until summer. Now summer, I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but my prediction for the spring is definitely gonna be really hot. And usually even if it quiets down in the last half of the year, it's still going to be a pretty strong amount. So we saw an overall increase of 10% on the average price for the single family homes in 2024. And I would guess we're gonna be around the 8 to 10% again. Now, why don't I think it's gonna be higher than last year? I do think there's going to be a threshold where buyers are willing to go up to. We might have out-of-town buyers from out of province or out of city that are willing to pay more, but I also think there's going to be this, like, I don't want to go that high. Now, last year we still saw multiple offers with conditions. We didn't see as many multiple offers without conditions, which was more prominent about in 2021. I foresee that we potentially might actually have more situations this coming spring where in order to win, you might actually have to do no conditions. So far, you can still win without doing that. And if you don't need to do conditions, then it's fine. But if you do, I really strongly advise that you still are doing your due diligence when it comes to your financing and your inspection. Now, what does this mean for average days on market? If you are a seller, how can you expect how long your property is going to sit? Now, the average days on market did go down to 44 days on market versus 52 days on market from year over year. And that's still pretty quick, but if you've noticed, in the springtime, we were sitting a lot lower than this. Now, is it a cause for alarm? No, not really. December typically is a quieter month. That being said, it being the new year and it's January, yes, January typically is also slower too. But again, you saw the numbers, there's very little inventory available. If your home is priced right, it shows well. So you've done the homework. You didn't just throw the house on the market, you've done the effort. I know that maybe you've become disenfranchised with your home and you're kind of over it. But if you spend a little bit more time and a little bit more love on that house, it's going to be worth it for your clients that are, not your clients, your buyers that are coming through, because there's that less of things to do. They're willing to pay a little bit more compared to the other homes they're looking at that haven't had all that work done, or haven't even had that fresh coat of paint or even a clean. So you have little things that you can do around the house. I don't expect that you're going to do a massive renovation, but there are things you can do to optimize the sale of your home. Now, here's a fun fact if you're wondering what the highest price sold in December of 2024 was: $2.45 million for a detached home, $648,000 for the semi-detached, which is a half duplex. Row townhouses, $687,500. I'm very curious where that is. And even a condo for $1.6 million here in Edmonton. So there are always those outliers, and I just shared with you that as a fun fact. That is definitely not what our normal is here in Edmonton. It is definitely still a lot more affordable to live in Edmonton, Alberta than it is even in Calgary, or of course our different counterparts in Canada, in BC and Ontario. So stay tuned. Every single week I'm coming to you live, and this year we're back to twice a week videos to help you with your buying journey or your selling journey when it comes to moving to Edmonton.